Good morning and welcome back to another Slay the Spire stream. I'm your host, Vegetable Bread, and today we are going to do a silent run first. This is going to be Ascension 3 Silent. Now, I've only got 1 point because we reached Act 4 with Ironclad, but did not kill the heart. A couple of pretty interesting options here. We can remove a card, we can get a random common relic. We can take quite a bit of damage to remove 2 cards, or we can get a random boss relic. Silent is one of the classes where I will trade out the starting relic for boss relic. Silent starting relic does not scale super well into the late game, where fights inevitably last a lot more than 1 turn, right? So that sort of first turn only effect doesn't scale super well. However, every fight does continue to have a turn 1, whereas other turns are conditional. And sometimes that first turn is really powerful, so you don't really want to give it away, but boss relic does tend to be quite a bit better. And removing a card is pretty dangerous in Act 1. You generally need those. You want to remove strikes. Strikes are the only cards in this deck that you really want to remove. But then you can't remove strikes because then you can't fight elites, and you need to fight elites to get relics, to power up, to win the game. So I don't think it's going to be either of the card remove options. Also, this one just costs a lot of health, and Silent has trouble maintaining health on early hallway fights, so that's probably wrong. So either random common relic or random boss relic. I generally only choose random boss relic on Silent when there aren't any other good options, because it's good. It helps you, just not like a lot. So I think we're going to take random common relic here, because common relic is just quite good. We could get something we could even build around a little bit. Meal ticket. Okay. Not exactly what I was thinking about. Changes our pathing a little bit. Probably means we want to go to this shop. Let's see. How do we get 3 elites in this act? We can get 4 if we go left. And there's a late shop where we can heal. I think we would need a fire somewhere in the middle here. It's possible we get a surprise shop that heals us, but that's not guaranteed. We can heal between these 2 elites, which is nice. We can't do 3 fights before this elite. We can only do 2 fights, 3 question marks, or 4 fights, 1 question mark, or 5 fights. So that's a little scary. We could start on this path, go to 3 question marks, and then decide if we feel strong enough to go left and fight 2 elites, or if we want to heal and go to a shop before we fight an elite. It seems like a pretty good position to put ourselves in. 3 question marks kind of sucks, but if we get like the Serpent event, we can take a curse and remove it at the shop. Okay, I think we're good to go ahead and just block out here and do some damage. Great turn here. Timed up all of our damage with the turn he's not attacking. The damage doesn't do anything here because he's got block. This turn's not so good. We lined up all of our block with the turn when he's not attacking. Let's block for as much as we can and do a little bit of damage. Should be setting up lethal next turn. Okay, some really good options on floor 1 here. Slice is great if we're trying to do a wheel and deal in Shiv deck, which is probably viable on Ascension 3, but we're not forced into it right away. Bane does quite a bit of damage once we get some poison, but we don't have any poison right now. And Flying Knee is a really good card. Gives you 4 energy. I think we're going to go with Flying Knee. It does the most damage right out of the gate, and it gives us next turn energy, which is pretty valuable. We will fight the light. We're mostly full health. We're probably going to heal at this this shop, so we've got some health to give. Can we flying the upgrade? That's great. I'll take a golden idol. We can give up max HP without current HP loss, so that's nice. 95 is kind of expensive. We are almost at full health, so we can probably go left here. And then probably like up the middle after this elite. And not try and fight 4, but maybe we fight 4, I don't know. If this relic's good, we could definitely fight 4. We can't give up flying knee. That's wrong. But we do need the relic because we need to power up. We've only gotten 1 card reward. And it is upgraded, but we're behind the 8 ball here. So we need to fight this hallway fight before we fight an elite. I guess we could just dodge all elites and go up the middle, but then we're going to be insufficiently powerful. So let's buy an elite. Or buy a relic. Okay, Nunchaku. Interesting. Maybe we should have taken that slice. So we now have an energy relic, although it's one of the weaker ones, and a flying knee. So we need to be on the watch out for some energy manipulation stuff. We could go heal, but we only have 19 money for the shop, so it's a bit of a waste. Right. It's really important we try to get through this fight without losing any health, and it looks like we probably can. Breaking both on turn 1, blocking out. Seems like a good start. Yeah. Alright, we need an attack here. We got 2. Choke and Nunchaku is kind of a thing. So we do choke and shivs. We also have flying knee, so we can set up the choke turn. Choke depends on us applying debuffs, which Silent is pretty good at doing, so we should be able to land those even on artifact targets. But we do need to be aware of that. We need to find some sources of weak, maybe some poison at some point over the course of the run, or else we won't be able to kill Donideka or Spire elites. But that's a problem for another day. Is Dagger Throw better for the next fight? Not particularly. Dagger Throw does better at damage per energy, probably. Although Choke, if you have 4 energy, Choke can outdamage Dagger Throw. It would have to do 18 to outdamage Dagger Throw, so you'd have to do 12 plus 9. So you'd have to play 3 cards after it, so you need, 4 energy on that turn, and one of the cards costs 0, be neutralized, basically. Not super likely. Dagger Throw also gives you some deck consistency. Yeah, I think we'll go with Choke. Choke is better in sentries, because in sentries it just is a bigger. It allows you to spend most of your energy on a turn. So you'll need Choke and a defend or something to have a good turn against sentries. Although sentries do have artifact charges, so maybe it's not that good. We'll give it a shot. Okay, it is Gremlin. Choke Flying Ninja draws is about the best turn one we can imagine. Triple Strike follow-up seems good. We have the energy for defend, but I think we just skip instead. Take 16. We're probably hoping for lethal next turn. If we get Choke Flying Knee, we get lethal. If we get Choke Neutralized Strike, is it lethal? It's 12 plus 9 plus 6. It is lethal. Is there any way we get lethal without Choke? Yeah, Flying Knee Double Strike is also lethal. Seems like there's quite a few outs here, so I'll go ahead and block a little bit. Flying Knee Double Strike. Okay, Cunning Potion is great with our Choke. Footwork is good too. Just good in general, mainly. Footwork helps us take fewer defensive cards. Footwork also scales when you play lots of cards, just like Choke does. So grab Footwork, I think. And rest of this fire. Alright, so Gremlin Knob is probably the biggest challenge for this deck. So should be in pretty good shape for whoever this is. It's lockable in. Well, it's good to set up Footwork on turn 1. I would like to have also... I guess Flying Knee wakes him up, huh? Probably want to wake him up with Choke and Cunning Potion here. Waking him up with Flying Knee is also pretty good, because then we get Choke on the extra energy turn. Guaranteed. We also get Nunchaku, who's going to trigger this turn, so it's going to be kind of a massive turn. I think it's going to be the Cunning Potion too. Might as well do it while we have Choke up. It looks like we're going to get through this fight without taking too much damage, so let's try and preserve health here. And we just have to find a strike or two to start. Yep, that'll do it. Alright, well that was a great fight. Maybe we can get through this without, with 4 elites. We also set up Nunchaku kind of on accident, but... Second Footwork seems good. It's not great if our next elite is Gremlin Knob. Also, if we have to choose next floor if we want to go left or right. And if we go right, we can take 1 optional elite. And if we go left, we take 2 forced elites. Titan Chest is not going to trigger. I think we're pretty unlikely to survive 2 forced elites, so I think we have to go right here. And I think probably just take another copy of Footwork. It's really good for Guardians, so... Deflect is also pretty promising with the Footwork Choke thing, but Deflect is a common, Footwork is uncommon, so we'll grab Footwork first. Letter Opener is great with all the Footwork going on. Alright, this question mark turns out to be a fight. This is kind of an interesting turn. I'm going to finish my tea while I think about this. Alright, I think the right line is almost certainly Choke, Footwork, Strike. I'm not sure why I even thought this was interesting. Oh wait, I went away, thought about the turn, came back and messed it up. You're supposed to skip the Footwork. For some reason I thought I had 4 energy. Oh, I do have 4 energy, but yeah, 4 energy isn't enough because Choke costs 2. Okay. Alright. Slice and Prepared both combo with Choke. Prepared combos in Choke with Choke in a way that's acceptable against Guardian. However, Prepared like super needs an upgrade. It's a terrible card if you don't upgrade it. And I don't see any upcoming upgrade. I would love to go take an elite after this. I just don't know if I can, though. It's 35. Doesn't seem realistic. So I think we're just going to do 3 hallway fights. That's dangerous enough. Maybe it's less dangerous to do 1 hallway fight, 1 elite. Get the heal from the shop. I wish the shop and the question mark were swapped. Then I'd feel a lot more comfortable going this elite. We skip here. So the last one was Lagavulin, so the next elite would be either Gremlin Knob or Sentries. I think there's a pretty good chance we die to either one of those. Probably better against Sentries than Gremlin Knob. I think we can't fight. We have to run. Okay, free chest with a Tingsha in it. Wow. Okay. So Tingsha is quite a good combo card. So we got a we just skipped a prepared, but we need cards like prepared now. Prepared is absolutely insane. Footwork defend is good for blocking, and then we put some damage into the looter. I guess choke neutralize strike over footwork. We can't block. I guess we could skill pop. I think I expect more than 8 out of my skill pop. We'll give Tingsha a chance to kill Looter. Nope. Okay, so we'll kill him with flying here. Block out. Default the footwork, do a bunch of damage. Should be able to get out of this without any more damage. Yep. There's a corpse explosion being offered. Corpse explosion is quite a card. Doesn't really work with what we're doing. But you don't really need it to. You don't need to be like a heavy poison deck to make corpse explosion work. It just like wins you AoE fights. It also applies 2 debuffs, so if we're just trying to get artifact charges off of people, corpse explosion does that. We're taking it over, like, all of these are actually pretty pickable. Dagger Spray is also AoE. Sneaky Strike I think is pickable because we just found Tingsha. It is a little bit of a perspective pick. And Sucker Punch blocks. Guardian has some rounding problems, so weakening him is really good. We prefer to get 2 weak in the deck by upgrading Neutralize, but it doesn't look like we have an upgrade coming, so Sucker Punch is fine. I think Corpse Explosion here. Some of the hard pool hallway fights like really require AoE, so we have to basically pick one of the AoE things in this fight, and I think Corpse Explosion is it. I think it's Choke Neutralize Survivor. Blocks out, does a bunch of damage. Doesn't develop footwork, but you can't have everything you want. Corpse Explosion Strike is not lethal. Neither is Double Strike. Corpse Explosion Strike does leave him at 1 next turn. So even if he starts running, it gets lethal eventually. I guess we could just Corpse Explosion defend, and then he takes 6/5/4. So we only have to do 7 damage. Which we have guaranteed next turn. But we could strike Footwork defend, and we still have guaranteed lethal next turn. And that blocks for more. I did my math wrong. Those do that at 16. Okay, I did my math wrong. Not setting up Nunchaku well, but that's okay. Backflip and dodge and roll are both top tier here. Backflip works well with choke. Both work well with footwork. We're going to pick dodge and roll. We're pretty light on block against Guardian. And dodge and roll double scales with dex, which is pretty rare. We're probably skipping choke to do corpse explode and survivor. Probably corpse exploding the slime. Tisha agrees. He's taking 5, so he is at 16. We can't do 16 damage, we can do 15 damage. So let's get the max block we can. And see what we want to do with the last strike. So he's taking 5, then 4, then 3. That is 12. So if we strike him, he dies in 3 turns. We can get started on Jawworm. Okay, I guess we double block and throw the flying bait to Jawworm. And we should be able to set up for lethal this turn. I guess double corpse explosion does it. That's fun. Interesting. Concentrate is available. It's kind of interesting. It really works well with choke. Works well with Tingsha. We need lots of card draw to support Concentrate, though. We currently rate this pick as very high risk, very high reward. It's a big speculative pick. It looks like we can probably survive a speculative pick against Guardian right now. Corpse Explosion will tick him down eventually pretty quickly. 2 footworks means we can usually block him out. Dash would help block him out. Deadly Poison would help tick him down, so would Terror. It seems like Terror actually doesn't work that well with the deck. If we're trying to get damage with Choke and Corpse Explosion, neither one of those scales with Terror. Choke kind of does, it scales on the first half with Terror, but... you only get a couple of shots at Concentrate over the course of a run, so I think I will take it, even though it's hyper speculative. Just because we have Tingsha. So, like, discard 3 cards also does 9 damage. So, like, -2 energy doing 9 damage is pretty insane. But we need to pick a lot of backflips now. But we kind of already want to pick up a lot of backflips, so I don't mind Concentrate. It needs an upgrade, but, you know, most of the deck does at this point. We definitely have to rest. Guardian's a bit tough here. It is possible to lose. I think we need to develop Corpse Explosion. So let's do that. It doesn't look like we're breaking him on next turn. So he's taking 6, then 5, that's 11. We could do 6, that's 17. So then we'd only need to do 13 next turn. But he blocks this turn. He blocks for what, 9? I need to look this up. It is 9. Oh wait, yeah, it changes, but it's still 9. So he blocks for 9, so instead of doing 13, we have to do 22. The only way we can do 22 is flying the double strike neutralize, which is pretty rare. So we're not going to plan on that happening. We're going to dodge and roll instead. I guess we could have energy potted this turn, and then we could have started out with choke, and then we certainly would have gotten him. It isn't an obvious play though, so I don't I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, be right back. Okay. I think I actually am going to restart this fight and energy pot on turn 1. It's pretty clear that we do need to split him before he attacks us. And I did not appropriately consider all my options. Not a great split, but you don't need a great split. We take a little bit of damage back if we Flying Knee. We could also Essence of Steel and take nothing. Yeah, I think I like Essence of Steel Concentrate. It still does... Actually, we're not getting any damage either way. But I will still Plated Armor. Double Footwork Defend Plus? So we're looking for 16, which is perfect. Neutralize reduces its damage from 16 to 12. Gives me 3 damage back. So it's a net positive. Yeah. So we continue to block out and do a little bit of damage. Neutralize is great this turn. Continuing to block out and getting some damage. He's not attacking this turn, so I guess we're doing some attacks. Doing that transform. Corpse Explosion is late. We can block out with just 1 block, so we will do that. And then concentrate for a bit of damage. Survivor Defend is going to block out, and then we'll Flying Knee. It's looking like a perfect boss fight. Maybe we're too slow. Maybe it's Corpse Explosion. Not too slow for this split, but maybe for the next one. We can choke defend, although we're not doing any damage either way. So I guess we might as well defend Flying Knee. Get some, oh. I guess choke would have done damage, huh? Because we could have choked defend Flying Knee. I guess it still does damage. Just 6 less. Survivor alone blocks out, so we can Corpse Explosion, Survivor, and then I guess, no, we can't afford to strike, so we just take the 3 damage from Concentrate. Neutralize helps to block. We're blocked out now, so we can strike and discard this. Oh, maybe we got more damage there from blocking, because we could have procced the letter opener. Okay, it doesn't matter. We have perfectly, or we have a fight in which we didn't take any damage, so it's a perfect fight. Not perfectly lethal because it's not exact damage or whatever. 1000 Cuts seems interesting. If we're trying to do choke things, but the real hero here is Storm of Steel. Discard your whole hand, do Tincture to a bunch of people, and then also Shivs. Also, if you play Choke and then Storm of Steel, you do 1,000,000 damage. That seems like it's the dream. We don't really need a second copy of Corpse Explosion, and Bullet Time isn't really doing anything for the deck. 1000 Cuts is neat, because it's some AoE, but it's really expensive to set up, and doesn't do anything on the turn you play it, whereas Storm of Steel probably wins you the fight for, you know, easier fights on the turn you play it. And they cost the same, so why not pick Storm of Steel? Hoping for Hovering Kite here, didn't find it. I think Busted Crown kills the run eventually, so that's probably worse than Skip. So it's between Sozu and Ring of the Serpent, which I think are probably both better than Skip. Ring of the Serpent's a bit dubious, because we do rely on getting those footwork set up. So having a big turn 1 is pretty valuable. Also, drawing Storm of Steel turn 1 is going to win us a lot of fights. And drawing even more cards increases the coincidence rate of Choke and Storm of Steel, which we're going to want to play. And then we're not going to be able to play it because we don't have any Energy Relic, because we didn't pick Sozu if we pick Ring of the Serpent. So I think we pick Sozu. We've got some decent potions. I wasn't planning on holding on to these for forever, but I guess we're not getting any more potions, so Sozu it is. Alright, Hyper Beam guy. It's our Act 2 boss. We've got a decent amount of money and a meal ticket, so going to shops is good. First shop here is immediately before a Mega Elite, which seems pretty sketchy. Yikes. So we either go right and fight 4 hallway fights in a row and then get 1 question mark before a fire. Remember, Act 2 is kind of all about getting as many question marks as you can. And Act 2 hard pool fights are hard. So we either do that line, or we're forced into a Mega Elite. So this is kind of a disastrous pathing situation. We can get 2 question marks total before the halfway point. If we go on this right path and fight that elite. We can get 2 before the Mega Elite if we go there, but then we're skipping the shop and the healing associated with it. After we go to the Mega Elite, we do heal. If we try to go on that path, we heal and then take another elite. Or we could go this way and also heal and go to a shop. Get another elite later. It's going to be a 2 elite max. And if we don't go right, one of those elites is the Mega Elite. If we do go right, there's an awful lot of options for how to get 2 elites. We could do him and then him and then him, or him and then him. Whereas if we go left, it's going to be the Mega and that guy, and then the Mega and one of these, or one of these two. Mega Elites are pretty scary. I would not say this deck is great at fighting Act 2 Elites. Corpse Explosion does a lot of work against Gremlin Leader and Slavers. But Tinksha is going to waste a lot of damage against Slavers, just hitting random targets, which is pretty problematic. But we can count on a pretty big power bump at that shop. We have a Golden Idol, so we can go through 3 fights and then go to a shop. Heal up. I think that's the best path. It's really dangerous though. But this right path is also super dangerous, so. I'm doing good, Sir Artemal. Just kind of considering our options here. This is a really, really dangerous Act 2. I think we're going to force ourselves into a Mega Elite here to avoid taking 4 hallway fights in a row. It can be good. I mean, we'll get our Mega Elite out of the way. But we could also lose the Mega Elite, so. Alright, not a great start. We're getting beaten up by these guys. We are a 4 energy deck now, so we can footwork, dodge and roll, defend, and flying knee. Get 5 energy next turn, and maybe draw a choke. Choke Storm of Steel would be good. I think we're definitely blocking. Our health total is really important. If we lose more than 15 health in these first 3 fights, then we're not going to be at full health after this shop for the Mega Elite. So after 50 is when it really starts counting, and we're unfortunately taking 8 of that damage right now, or 9 of that damage right now, so yikes. I guess we're just doing that. Do we have a kill here? So Storm of Steel. Okay, so if all of the shivs hit back Mugger, yeah, Ice Cream would be super nice. We've got actually a lot of energy manipulation with this deck, and then Chaku to help even it out a little bit. So Corpse Explosion does 6, so he's down to 22. The shivs themselves do 12, so he's down to 10. So even if all 3 discards hit him, he goes down to 1 and doesn't die. We could get Flying Knee, which does guarantee that he dies, and which does kill both. Uses a potion, though. And we can get out of this turn without taking any damage. So if he's hitting for 14 and we weaken him, no, it's not. He would go down to 11, is that right? He's over 12, so it gets reduced by 3. Yes, it's 11. So we take 1 damage. And then I guess we would just strike back Mugger. So he'd end up with 12 damage this turn. He'd go to 16, and then take 5 damage next turn. Go to 11, so we'd have to do 11 damage and get through his armor next turn. We do have choke coming up. Yeah, worst case scenario, we can choke Liquid Memory's choke, and that will kill him, which will win the fight. So we're taking 1 damage here, trying to save the Liquid Memories, because we do have lethal this turn with Liquid Memories, but we're gonna pass it. Thanks, Tingsha. Not helpful. Oh, it did go down to 10. I did not take 1 damage. That's confusing. This looks like it's lethal. Yeah, okay. Blade Dance seems good. Play lots of attacks. Trigger choke a bunch. Get my energy back with the Nunchaku. Flying Knee also gives me energy, both with the Nunchaku and with itself. Dagger Spray Plus would give me some AoE. We can also Blade Dance and then Storm of Steel to discard the 2 shivs for new shivs and get some extra AoE. I don't super need AoE. The Dagger Spray is definitely nice, but we do have Corpse Explosion. We don't have none. AoE is super good in Act 2, though. So Dagger Spray would help out a lot if we get, like, particularly Gremlin Leader. Dagger Spray is really good in that fight. Corpse Explosion always feels like a little bit of an overcommit on a Gremlin. But Dagger Spray is, you don't commit it to anybody, you just do the damage. Plus it comes upgraded, and Dagger Spray gets a pretty big upgrade. 12 AoE damage for 1. It's Hyper Beam guy, the boss. Bronze Automaton is the name. Blade Dance also just, like, sometimes gets you killed, because you're up against Time Lord, and, you know, it's a lot of cards to play. This deck is already kind of dead against Time Lord. Storm of Steel and Choke and stuff. No, we could probably make it. Double Footwork. Yeah, I think we just take the Dagger Spray. A little bit more conservative. Dagger Spray is certainly good here. That's not true. We're not on Ascension 20. We're on Ascension 3. Also, good God, 2 out of 3 is not a lot of math. Once again, we could use Liquid Memories to get ourselves out of trouble. We could Dagger Spray, Liquid Memories, Dagger Spray to knock them all down, and then Corpse Explosion to win the fight. We can skip Corpse Explosion. We could just Dagger Spray, Flying Knee to knock one down, Survivor to block the other 2. And then Strike to knock another one down. So that makes us take no damage, but we skip Corpse Explosion. I mean, I guess you can think about it as 12 different boss combinations, but the way I prefer to think about it is there's only one boss that you won't encounter. So, there's a 1 in 3 chance of that boss being a Time Lord. Geez. So, okay, so the aggressive line that tries to win the fight soon is Dagger Spray, Corpse Explosion, Survivor. Which blocks for 8 and takes 10. If we're assuming we lose the run, if we come into this fight at like 50 or below, taking 10 right now probably loses us the run. So I guess we won't do that. Okay. So we're trying to win this fight without Corpse Explosion, which is a little scary. Let's knock down the 2 with the higher health totals. Alright, we have 5 energy, so maybe we can knock one down. Nope, just kidding. Footwork, dodge, and roll blocks for 6. So then we're taking 6. Alternately, we have another Liquid Memories out. We could Liquid Memories for dodge and roll. Or not dodge and roll, for, I guess Corpse Explosion would work. Because we could double dagger Corpse Explosion. No, that actually doesn't quite work. So probably Dagger Spray then. So we Dagger Spray, strike the front one, knock him down, footwork, dodge, and roll the block out. It's kind of silly that I have 5 energy, 5 cards in hand, and one of the cards is Concentrate. It's like I could get even more energy, but then I'd only have 1 card to play it with. The stick needs a Skewer. Skewer would be really nice. So taking 6 is a lot better than taking 10, which was our option last turn. We're clearly going to footwork, dodge, and roll, and double strike. So let's just play these. Who are we striking? I guess we're trying to set up the Corpse Explosion when it comes back around. So we'll strike the low health ground bird, or the high health ground bird. And end with 3 energy. Alright, we have a good chance of blocking out this turn, because we're not taking any damage. Develop the other footwork. I guess we'll neutralize this guy to put him in range for Corpse Explosion. And strike this bird. He's the biggest threat now because he's buffing. We can't get... Let her open up rock. Okay, we have a 1 in 15 chance of drawing Corpse Explosion, which we did not do. Storm of Steel, the tincture damage does not get reduced by the flight effect. So we could theoretically Storm of Steel, discard 4 cards, doing 12 AoE damage, and then get 4 shivs that all hit for 2. So that's 8 more, so we do 20 total damage. Not super impressive. Probably more likely we're just going to Flying Knee, Double Defend, Strike. Double Defend blocks for 21 now. Maybe there's a hybrid approach here, because Storm of Steel also lets us knock down a bird. And we could knock down either this front bird or back bird. Back bird is doing more damage right now. Maybe, so we can knock down this front one with that Flying Knee, and then Storm of Steel and knock down the back one. We still take 12 in that case. And we can't fit the defend. Maybe we defend Storm of Steel and knock down the front one. No, there's no reason to knock down the front one over the back one. Maybe this is a skill pot. Skill pot for Corpse Explosion, which is in the deck but didn't show up. I should have just Corpse Explosion on turn 1. So we're taking 18 from these two and 14 from him. It's a total of 32. We can block for 21 and take 11. But we can block 6 of that by killing that bird. So we're taking 5. Yeah, I can't see my way to taking less than 5 damage here, so I guess I'll do that. I'll hit the front bird to set him up better for a Corpse Explosion. There it is. And I think we can kill him with it. Okay, we've taken 20 damage so far, so that's 5 real damage and 15 damage that'll get healed here, if we take no more damage. Dagger Throw says discard on it, so it triggers Tincture. It also just like, we have lots of energy. Dagger Throw gives me better ways of spending energy. Acrobatics also says discard on it, and is even better at helping me spend energy. Acrobatics also helps me put together Choke and Storm of Steel, and makes it bigger Storm of Steel happen. It seems like Acrobatics is good. I was hoping that the card draw energy spending outlet for the deck would be backflips, but I don't mind a single copy of Acrobatics. So we'll grab them. Alright, I hope this is an easy one. I think we want to develop Footwork, and then we can just Storm of Steel the rest. For massive tincture damage. Strike does 6 damage, and the Shiv only does 4, but then it does 7 total, because it does 3 damage when I discard the strike, but 3 of it is undirected, which is kind of weird. I don't really know how to think about that. How valuable are the artifact charges on Spirit Guardian? They currently block Corpse Explosion and Choke procs. I don't think we should plan on getting through them. So let's just go for max damage. I think we're probably trying to kill Sentry first. Which is, I think, the normal path through this fight. Looks like Footwork, Survivor, Defend. We could Survivor Corpse Explosion. Get the 42 damage from Sentry in a future turn. We could Survivor Corpse Explosion, Liquid Memories Corpse Explosion again to actually get the 6 poison on Sentry and 2 explosion effects. 2 explosion effects would be very likely to kill Spirit Guardian when it goes off. But I'm not too bothered by Survivor Defend. We do get frailed here, and being frailed is pretty nasty. So ending the fight soon would be good. We could Survivor to discard Corpse Explosion, and then block out and Liquid Memories to get back Corpse Explosion. We only get 1 proc of the explosion effect, but we do block out this turn. Is 42 damage enough? So if he takes 42, he goes down to 17 armor, so that's 37 total health. I don't really know if that's enough. But we do block out this turn and develop the explosion. So we're really only blocking for 9 with that liquid memories, which I think we want more from it. We've been talking about this liquid memories non-stop the entire second act. I think we are going to use it now. I think we're going to do the double corpse explosion line. Because that frail is really scary. I don't know if we can block for 22 next turn, so let's plan on winning the fight next turn. Okay, so he's taking 84 and dying. Okay. Just prepared, or dodge and roll. Piercing Wheel is pretty good too. But we have 2 copies of footwork, so the dex scaling from dodge and roll is probably better than the AoE block for Piercing Wheel. Piercing Wheel is extremely good in Slavers, though. Slavers turn 1. Piercing Wheel is much better than dodge and roll. I still don't know about an unupgraded prepared. We do have acrobatics now, so it's quite a bit better than prepared. Do we need another copy of dodge and roll? Like 2 footwork, 2 dodge and roll is pretty reasonable. Okay, hopefully this isn't a fight. I would love the gold. I don't know if I'm willing to trade health for it. You do get 25 more gold than you get on other ascensions here. I didn't realize this event changed. I think I will take the gold. We're pretty heavily dependent on this chest to be really good. Unfortunately, Tiny Chest is actually going to block a chance of becoming a vampire here. If we go here, we can't become a vampire because we're going to get an artifact instead, or a relic. Relics are probably better than being a chance at being a vampire, but still, I think we take the gold. All right, we ended up losing 20 health. We found the lizard tail and tough bandages. Dolly's mirror. This is some really top tier relics. Just insane stuff. The fact that we've gotten Tinctia and now we're being offered tough bandages is pretty insane. I don't know if I've ever had just been like given the combo like that. We actually can't afford Lizard Fumes remove. Almost we can, but not quite. It's slightly more than 450. So I guess it's 455. Yeah, it's tough not to buy Lizard here because we really need to survive the Mega Elite fight. You think Fumes is too good past that? I don't know. We're not really doing that though. We don't. It's very slow, and we don't have any other source of poison. It takes a long time to build up. I mean, we do have Corpse Explosion, but Corpse Explosion is mainly to turn killing one person into winning the fight. It does do some damage as well, but... I think I like Tough Bandage's card remove. Maybe Good Instincts. I wish there was some card draw here. I would love Tough Bandage's card remove backflip. That would be very exciting. If we're just a few HP off of a kill, though, why don't we buy Sneaky Strike, you know? Sneaky Strike is frequently free in this deck, and does 10 damage. Whereas, like, Noxious Fumes, think about how long that takes to do 10 damage. It's like, does nothing on the first turn, and then does 2 damage next, and then 3 damage, then you're up to 5, then it does 4, now it's up to 9. So it's like 5 turns later, you do a Sneaky Strike worth of damage, and you have to pay 1 more for it. That is assuming that Sneaky Strike is free, but... I love Tough Bandages. Tough Bandages is so good. But we don't really have enough to support it. We've really just got the Storm of Steel. And if we don't draw a Storm of Steel on turn 1, like... Oh, I don't know. I don't even know if Lizard Tail, like, saves me against, like, a Strength Book of Stabbing. Fubes is good, don't get me wrong. Like, Fubes is definitely good. It's just slow. It's really slow. If you're going to be a poison deck, I think you need a copy of Noxious Fumes. But this isn't really a poison deck. But every deck needs damage, and Noxious Fumes does do damage. Noxious Fumes is also great at removing artifact charges. Just knocks them right down, which is something that we could super use with the Corpse Explosion, Neutralize, and Choke. Maybe, yeah. I mean, this deck does like do a lot of footwork and blocking, and that gives a lot of time for Noxious Fumes to kill people. That is certainly true. We can almost afford Noxious Fumes, Tough Bandages card remove. We're 2 gold off. Yeah. Potions are an option. An option we can't take, but, you know. What about Good Instincts? We haven't talked about that. Deadly Poison also does a ton of damage, if we're just looking for damage. We could do Tough Bandages, Deadly Poison, card remove. What's the crossover point between Deadly Poison and Noxious Fumes? Deadly Poison does 5 on turn 1, whereas Noxious Fumes does 0. And then Deadly Poison goes up to 9 damage when Noxious Fumes goes up to 2. Deadly Poison goes up to 12 damage, Noxious Fumes goes up to 5. Deadly Poison gets 3 more, goes to 15. Noxious Fumes goes up to 9. Deadly Poison gets 2 more, goes to 17. Noxious Fumes goes up to 14. So they pass over on like the 6th turn. Noxious Fumes is AoE, and you only have to pay for Noxious Fumes once, whereas Deadly Poison comes back around. Deadly Poison does a ton more damage though. Like soon. I think the main thing we're worried about is this fight right now. Like this is the... If we win this fight, we can win the run. If we don't win this fight, we're losing, obviously. So we could buy a little bit more health. That would heal us for 32. And potentially a little bit more if we get overkilled by a bunch. So we could buy 30 health, which is super nice. It's like basically buying a rest here. This is unlikely to get us 30 health in this fight. Tough Bandages is actually not very helpful right now. It's like only helpful if we draw Storm of Steel on turn 1. And maybe we have to draw Storm of Steel on turn 1 to win. That's totally the world we could be living in. But if we don't draw Storm of Steel on turn 1, then you know it doesn't really do anything. It only works if we get Acrobatics, for example. Man, turn 1 acrobatics into Storm of Steel would be so nuts if we buy tough bandages. Jeez. So if it's Strength Book of Stabbing, I don't think we're going to win. I think we just lose the run to Strength Book of Stabbing, so we shouldn't think about that. We should try and beat, like, Plated Armor Slavers or, like, Regenerating Gremlin Leader, like those type of things. Those are winnable fights. So if we get, like, Regenerating Gremlin Leader, then we, like, don't have to Storm of Steel on turn 1. We can, like, just, like, Corpse Explosion and, like, block the Gremlins, and that'll probably get us there. But Tough Bandages is so good later. And it's really good on the Storm of Steel turn. If we still had that stupid Liquid Memories, we could guarantee ourselves a Storm of Steel 50% of the time. Or at least, you know, slightly less than 50% whenever Storm of Steel is in the discard. I think I like Tough Bandages, Noxious Fumes, and Deadly Poison. It buys a bunch of blocks sometimes, and then helps me win the, like, Gremlin Leader fights and, like, Slaver fights. Are we too light on damage? Why are we buying Noxious Fumes? I wish there was any card draw in this shop. I guess we could Dolly's Mirror some card draw. So we could, like, Dolly's Mirror the like, acrobatics. God, that feels bad. Yeah, I have tried to make Grand Finale work. Grand Finale is a lot of math. You spend a lot of time, like, figuring out how to make your first shuffle land perfectly, and then, like, how to, like, remove cards from the deck to make the second shuffle also land perfectly. Yeah, Dolly's Storm of Steel would be great. It'd be even better if we had 6 more gold and we could buy Dolly's Mirror and Tough Bandages. I think we just take Tough Bandages and hope we draw Storm of Steel at the right time. I don't think we're winning this fight if we don't. Okay, and then we can increase our chance of drawing the Storm of Steel by card removing. A strike. And if we feel desperate, we can buy some damage. Sneaky Strike or Deadly Poison. Can't buy both, although it is close. No. I don't think we need to buy damage. We just need to draw Storm of Steel and choke and stuff. Need more card draw. Okay, well, this is a really dangerous flare. Strike the Book of Stabbing. What the fuck? Slay the Spire. Swear to God. What the hell? We talked about this. I can't beat this fight. Well, drat. Alright. We do have Tough Bandages and, like, Survivor Concentrate, so we can actually block for quite a bit this turn. This is clearly going to be the the skill pot. So we're going to, like, discard the strikes to either Survivor or Concentrate. We probably want to play at least one of these two. I guess let's see what's in here first. Crippling Cloud is great. That blocks for a ton. Appreciated. Let's start with the Survivor. And I think I'm going to dodge and roll Flying Knee Concentrate. Discard the Strike and the Dagger Spray. Maybe I play both Flying Knee and Dagger Spray. It's quite a bit more damage than just Consecrating it. So Concentrate blocks for 3 and does 3 damage per card, so it's way better than playing Strike. But it seems like it's not better than playing Dagger Spray, which does 12 damage. Flying Knee is definitely better. Yeah. We actually only block for 2 with the Dagger Spray because we're actually blocking out. Okay. Ending the turn with 3 energy yet again. Ice Cream when. Looks like Choke triple defend to me. Maybe we need to go faster. Maybe we need Choke defend Corpse Explosion. He's hitting for 14. If we double defend, we block out. So triple defend does seem like a bit of a waste. If we take 5, we take a wound. But we get a bunch of poisons, so I think it's probably worth it. We do get 3 less damage too from playing only 2 cards and not playing 3 cards. But we'll get way more damage, and we need the damage because he scales up really fast. Okay, well we found Storm of Steel on a turn when he's attacking for 30. It seems like Neutralize is more than 3 block here. Yeah, Wound is whenever he attacks. Whenever he hits you, you take a wound. So this turn, if I didn't block at all, I would take 3 wounds and 30 damage. I think Neutralize is better than Storm of Steel on the Neutralize card. I don't think we're going to Footwork. So then Storm of Steel blocks for 9. So we still take 2 of the hits. He's going to hit for 21, block for 9, and take 12. And get exactly this hand next turn. Maybe we can Acrobatics back to Storm of Steel. Yeah, I think Neutralize is better than skipping Neutralize. Maybe we should have Defend Plus too. Alright, let's get that shuffle. Definitely don't need wounds. Footwork double defend. We don't have any cool discard stuff this turn. We're already surviving this turn. And I don't know if Footwork, Defend, Dodge, and Roll survives next turn. Last turn was 3 attacks, so next turn would be 5 attacks. If we manage to weaken him, it's going to be 7 times 5, that's 35 damage. I don't think we're surviving 35 damage next turn. No matter what we do. So we should just take the max block for this turn and somehow kill him next turn. That's not going to happen. Okay, max block for this turn is Footwork, Defend, Dodge, and Roll. Max block if we're trying to survive next turn is Footwork, Defend, Dodge, and Roll. So that's 7 plus 12. We're so dead. We can't even put together Acrobatics and Storm of Steel next turn. We just didn't draw enough card draw. Well, at least I'm glad I didn't buy the Lizard Tail, because he would have just killed us anyway. Alright, I think we're just going to defend, dodge, and roll, strike, and ignore the fact that we're clearly dying next turn. Oh, it's only times 4. Okay, well, that's something. I thought it was going to be times 5. 40 is a lot, though. Our max block is Defend, Defend, Concentrate, which blocks for 8, 13 plus 6 is 19, plus 4 is 23. Nope, that'll not do it. Alright, well, let's get the damage and Concentrate. That was also our max damage play, so We're only 15 damage off. I'm not like super far. Maybe we should have taken that deadly poison. If we'd taken deadly poison, we might have actually won this fight. Would have been like, if we'd played it 3 turns ago, would have done exactly 15 damage. It's kind of assuming we'll get a free card draw and a free energy, though. Bummer. Okay, back to Ascension 2. What's the deal with this deck? Why'd we lose? Well, our Act 2 padding was just like horrendous. We were either forced into a Mega Elite, which turned out to be Strength Book of Stabbing, which is the worst case scenario, or we took 4 hallway fights. Yeah, and then we didn't get any backflips. We were offered a backflip, but it was in a card pick with a footwork. I think is what happened. Maybe it was up against the Consecrate. Maybe picking Consecrate killed us. Yeah, I think it was up against Consecrate. So we should have picked Backflip instead of Consecrate for sure. Consecrate never really paid off, even though we did get friggin' Tincture Tough Bandages. Yeah, we just needed a lot more card draw to go with our Storm of Steel. We started getting there. Acrobatics. Oh, is it Concentrate? It is Concentrate. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I thought the Silent was suddenly a Paladin of whatever, but Paladin of Quietude.